For the third year, we are privileged to have amongst us a very important member of our community. We are honored to have MP for Ottawa West Nepean, Anita Vandenbeld. Anita has dedicated most of her career to public service in both Canada and abroad. Anita received her Bachelor's of Arts in Histories from the University of Calgary and then went on to pursue a master's degree specializing in Canadian political and constitutional history from York University. She has worked extensively with the United Nations and is a specialist in international democratic development focused on parliamentary development and political parties, as well as women's political participation. Without further ado, please welcome MP Anita Vandenbeld.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Salam alaikum. It is such a pleasure for me to be here at a graduation, particularly the graduation today from the Islamic school, and to look at the bright faces of the young people who are just now finding out who they are, who they're going to be. And I want to congratulate every single one of you, the graduates, the class of 2018. I also want to congratulate the parents and the siblings and the teachers, the faith leaders, the community leaders who helped these young people to grow and become who you are today. And as you know, I'm the Member of Parliament for Ottawa West Nepean and the area in which the school is. But that's not how I started. My dream, and this is what I want to talk about today, is dreams, perseverance, and public service. My dream when I graduated 29 years ago was to work for the United Nations. I wanted to go into the world and try to make it better. And I think a lot of young people share that passion. And particularly today when we see a world that is polarized, where we see people who are deliberately dividing people, it is incredibly important that this generation that is graduating is there to build bridges, to do more than just to look at their own life, their own job, their own success, but to look at the larger world and to try to be that person that connects, that builds bridges, and that does public service. And for me, that came from after my graduation from university, I found myself working in the oil industry. And I was very successful, and there's nothing wrong with doing that kind of work, but it wasn't enough for me because I really felt that there was nothing in it that was giving back to the community, that was making the world better. And I applied to every single job to get into the United Nations, to internships internationally. It was 2 years after I applied that I actually got a phone call to go to Bosnia for my first posting. So if you're applying, don't give up, because this particular job came to me 2 years after I actually submitted my CV. So that's my first lesson, is to keep on trying. But then I did it. I had my dream job. And by 2010, I was working in Manhattan in a senior position at the United Nations. Every 3 weeks, I was traveling to another country in the world. I had staff on 5 continents, and I was working with women around the world to try to empower them and make them better and work on women's leadership. And this, to me, was the dream job. And then what happened? Well, I was in Indonesia, and I was working with a group of women from around the world. And they looked at me, and this was in 2010, and they said, Anita, what's happening to Canada? You could do so much more for us if you went back to Canada and you ran and you became a member of parliament there so that you could actually do something for the world, for society, for the world's women. And so I gave my 3 weeks notice and I left my dream job. And I took that leap, I took that risk, and I decided to run for parliament. And this was in 2011. And guess what? I lost. So I'd given up the job I dreamed about my whole entire life, and then I lost the election. And instead of despair, I decided to keep on going. And I spent 4 more years. I built up contacts in the community. I still did some of the international work, but I made sure that I was here talking to people and trying to explain what it was that I wanted to be able to do for people here in the community. And in 2015, it paid off. 4 more years of work, but I won the election in 2015, and here I am as your Member of Parliament. So my message to the graduates is, if you believe in your heart that you can do something, don't let anybody tell you that it's not practical, that it's impossible, that you're reaching too high. And when you try and you fail, Keep trying, because listen to that voice that you have inside of you, because that's the voice. That's the one that tells you what you're meant to do and what you yourself believe that you can do. So whatever you're dreaming of right now, never, ever let go of that dream. And secondly, I do know that in some point in the future, you will be leaders. You will be the boss. You will be in a position of authority. You will be a parent. You will be somebody that others look up to. When you get to that position, my advice to you is to listen. To listen to not just the confident, strong, bold voices. Listen to the quiet voices. Listen to those who are afraid to speak, or perhaps over the years have been silenced by others and don't speak out and tell their truth. Listen to the old people, because they've lived a lifetime. They have wisdom for you. Listen to people who have disabilities. Listen to people who are different from yourself, because their story can very much inform you. And listen to children. Children have a purity. They haven't yet learned what's not practical. And they have wisdom too. And most important, listen to yourself. Always believe in yourself, and always listen to that voice inside you. And I can tell you that whatever you do in life, if you persevere, if you follow your dreams, if you believe in something bigger than yourself to contribute back to the world, to make the world better, to build bridges and bring people together in a very polarized world, then no matter what you do in life, you will succeed, and you will look back on this day and you will realize that those dreams were the dreams that were just that little seed that grew into who you are and who you're going to become. So congratulations to the class of 2018. Thank you.